Porn Addiction 101. How much porn is too much porn? And how do you know whether or not the amount you're currently watching is bordering the line of being addicted to it? And can porn even be considered an addiction? I mean, it's not something you put into your body and you ingest. Find out in this video. Tap in, and I want to educate you on the things you don't know and what you need to know about your relationship with porn. Tap in. Bow.
Girl, you know that I need ya. She my queen of the 10, yeah. Make me feel like a king, yeah. She said she wants to be my love.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. What's goody? Wagwan, gang gang. My channel is all about providing you the daily dose of edutainment. My goal is to inspire you to take action upon the information that I give you, knowledgeable insights, whether that be relating to skincare, relating to addiction-related topics, health-related topics, whatever it is. My goal is to make sure that you learn something, that you're educated, but also that you laugh and are entertained as well. So none of that boring shit, none of that boring content that you enjoy laughing at, enjoy watching, but also learn as well. So this video is a part of my series about porn and NoFap and like masturbation and stuff like that. A lot of people tend to think that porn can't be addictive because it's not like a substance that you put into your body. It's not like alcohol that you put into your body. It's not like weed that you smoke. But porn is just as influential on the body as any of these other substances. I always like to bring on good, informative people who I see speak good information about topics such as this. So because this is a part of my series, I wanted to bring on a girl named Shan Boodram. She's a sex and relationship educator, and what her goal essentially is to inspire young adults, people in general, to make good choices in their sex life and their romantic relationships. So I'm gonna have Shan take the rest of this video away and educate you about porn. Classes in session, porn education 101. Let's cut straight to it.
Quick pause. Before we continue, I want to do a little crash course on sex and porn addiction. Now, many people are skeptical about calling these addictions because there is no substance attached, but they are known as behavioral or process addictions. So here is the big question. How do you know when you're addicted to sex or pornography? The answer, yes, can be complicated, and to get a real assessment, you need to see a licensed psychologist or therapist. But in short, it's when engaging in sex no longer feels like a choice. You find yourself ritualistically doing it without concern for your own well-being or the well-being and comfort of others. And after the act, oftentimes you feel regret and self-loathing. Sex is a drive, much like food, social contact, and power. Now, drive exists in the risk and reward center of the brain, a place that encourages us to do just that. Most addictions can be linked to the risk and reward neurochemical chain. A sex or porn addict tends to have a circle relationship with the act. Number 1, engage, followed by guilt, promise to never do this again, unwelcome stress in their life, then an obsessive urge to soothe by engaging again, then a sense of desperation, and finally a need to release and then repeat. The inability to control one's behavior is not an explanation, it's a cry for help. If someone could break the cycle without help, they would have done it already. So if someone you know has admitted to having a sex or porn addiction, they should seek help to gain control over their compulsion and of their life. Now, many people do prolong getting help for this addiction, but you have to ask yourself or the addict, what kind of bottom are you waiting to hit? A loss of self-respect, loss of relationships, criminal charges, or loss of good health? Now, below I listed some links that I think are really helpful and are a great first step for anybody who wants to learn more.
Your book did a really amazing and respectful job of talking about is porn addiction in that entire world. So can you break down for people who don't know, what is porn addiction?
Sure. So this was actually something that was new to me when I was researching the book, and I got someone who has arousal addiction to write a bit for the book about it.
And see, so, even that, what?
Yeah, that was new to me. So porn addiction is basically being addicted to porn and needing porn in order to get aroused, and basically it getting in the way of your daily life. You like wake up in the morning, you're like, you know, it works the same way as any other addiction. Like, it chemically, like, gets into your brain. An arousal addiction is the need to be aroused all the time. So in the case of the example in my book, it was someone who has a penis who, like, was writing about it. So the way that he said it was the need to be hard all the time.
This is the age-old question for any sexual educator. They constantly, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, especially by like an older reporter. They're like, well, kids today are just watching so much porn. So what have you noticed, and what have you noticed about when it comes to youth and porn consumption?
Part of me is really freaked out, and then part of me is like, not, because I think adolescents like have always, like, will always kind of go through some of these cycles, but the thing that is different is the technology and the access to it. Because, like, my mum would say to me, and like my dad would be like, oh yeah, like, we were always trying to like reach for the Playboys on the top shelf, or like, you know, your friend would like have a Playboy magazine, you'd like go around and be like, oh my god. But like now it's like it's on your phone, like you know, a lot of teenagers, like, it's just there. And the statistics are quite scary as well in terms of like how many young people will see porn by the time they're 16. But there's a lot of the like research that I've seen, it doesn't really differentiate between young people who have seen porn, which might be like not their choosing, like it might have just been sent to them or shown to them, and young people seeking out porn. Like, I think there's definitely a difference there, but I haven't really seen much research about that.
So do you think it's time to be afraid, or is it time to be like, okay, well, sex is becoming a more normal part of our lives, we're more exposed to it, and there's actually something positive about that?
I think it's a time to educate, and I think a lot of people are scared about how much like porn is accessible to young people. Parents are scared. If, you know, young people are going to be seeing these images, whether they're seeking them out or not, how do we then best educate them and give them the tools in order to see those things and be critical about them, enjoy them if that's like what they're there for, but also like let them have a good, healthy relationship to their own personal sexuality and then their relationships with others, and, you know, educate about things like porn and arousal addiction and how actually they can affect things like your, you know, erectile dysfunction and like and your mental health and your relationships and all of these things.
How much dopamine is released while you're actually having the act, because of the fact that you're desensitized in many ways.
Exactly, the desensitization to things. It's like you, with most cases of porn addiction, it's the fact that it's like you watch so much porn that you become desensitized to it, and then it's only like the more hardcore stuff that can get you off, and then you find that in your actual relationships and in your sex life, like, your partner can't get you off, you can't get yourself off without all of this extra like stimulus that is really unhealthy.
People have a lot of discomfort with their partner's porn habits, or even the fact they even watch porn at all.
Yeah.
How do you suggest somebody broach that conversation in a way that doesn't shame?
I think it's about, you've got to recognize where both people come from. Like, neither person is wrong, first of all. Like, if you feel isolated and if you feel unwanted because your partner watches porn, then that's valid. But also the fact that your partner's feelings towards you don't change because they're watching porn, that's also valid. So it's about really trying to see it from the other person's perspective and maybe compromising on it, or maybe changing your view, or the other person changing their view. Like, you can't control your partner's behavior, and everybody in a relationship is entitled to their own personal sex life and their own private sex life.
And because if you are a non-porn consumer and you just hear the headlines, your opinion's all going to be all negative.
Yes.
And I think that
and you're going to think like, oh my god, my partner's a pervert, I'm not good enough, like, you know, they like this kind of person and I don't look like the kind of people that they're watching in porn. I think that is definitely something that you might feel. But that's not the case. Like, talk to your partner about their fantasies and like what kind of porn do they watch. You might be surprised. Maybe you can watch it with them.
As y'all can see, there's a lot of layers to watching pornography. It's not just a straight up masturbate and you get your rock off orgasm and boom, you're good. If you're not careful, things can start getting out of control and you become, you know, something that you almost need to do every day. So this video is brought to you by Truth of Addiction. Whether you're struggling with porn, cigarette, gambling, coffee, get help with the Truth for Addiction program. Their program and detailed videos and detailed instruction manual make quitting an addiction from the comfort of your own home easy as 1, 2, 3. In the program, you'll be given strategies to not only better understand why you're addicted, but also the big part, you'll also be given strategies to prevent yourself from relapsing and going back to the root of your addiction. So there's no need for a rehab facility, no need to take all these medicated pills and stuff like that. You can do it straight off of information that they give you. Part of what they use is meditation practices and other science-proven techniques, unorthodox but effective techniques to rid yourself of your brain's addiction to that substance. So if you want to make a smart move like my other subscribers and other viewers have, then start today with the free video link below in the description. Truth of Addiction program, get to it, take back control of your life once and for all. So I appreciate y'all for watching. If you want more porn related videos, more topics about this, talk about my own personal relationship with porn, right here, why I quit porn forever, and why porn may be poison for you, and how to overcome your addiction to begin with. So I have a whole playlist dedicated to pornography. So if you want to check it out, NoFap, Pornhub, all that stuff, I talk about it. So check it out as well in the cards, in the description, pinned comment, but definitely check out the Truth of Addiction program. Alright, I'll see y'all on the next video. Deuces.
Girl, give me body, make a taste, yeah, yeah. Girl, give me body, make a crisp, yeah, yeah. Girl, you know that I want ya. Girl, you